Alright guys, welcome back to What If Frieza Was a Good Guy. The last video, I think I did a good job. Kakarot and King Piccolo are now by themselves. How will that play out? Find out now. We cut to a couple days after all this happened. Guru would be extremely impressed with Frieza, and he would upgrade the Dragon Balls so he can bring back more people. And Frieza and Guru will become greater friends. Frieza will be known as the protector of Namek, but he would still feel bad for what his brother did. However, he knew that Kakarot and King Piccolo were both out there. As this was going on, Vegeta was training heavily. He couldn't believe this. Even though he was stronger than Kakarot, Kakarot managed to outsmart him with a little Namekian trick, blasting off their tails so he can turn Azaru. This pissed him off as he continued to train endlessly, with nothing on his mind except for one thing, revenge. Vegeta wasn't a bad guy in this scenario, but he had to get back at Kakarot. He had to prove he was better, and he had to prove that he was the superior Saiyan. So, as he continued to train, we cut to Raditz and Nappa. Raditz was wished back since they upgraded the Dragon Balls on Namek. So was Nappa. Nappa and Raditz were both there, watching Vegeta train intensely. They had never seen him like this before. His only goal was to beat Kakarot. Meanwhile, we would cut to Kakarot. Kakarot would be alone. He would land on some distant planet. Some neutral planet away from Frieza's control, as they would heal him. And after they healed, they would walk up to him and say, okay, try to make Kakarot pay since, well, you know, they make money through healing criminals that can't be healed for free by the Galactic Patrol or Frieza's Empire. So, Kakarot would then smile and say, sure, your payment is a quick and painless death. As then he would kill everyone there and just leave. He felt the massive Zenkai, but he knew it wasn't enough. Should he meet up with King Piccolo? I mean, he could, but he doesn't even know where he is, and it could still be risky. Kakarot would decide to head back to Earth. Cooler mentioned the planet, and he did land there once, and it would be a small hideout, since no one really knows about it, so Kakarot would go to Earth. Meanwhile, King Piccolo would also go to Earth. King Piccolo wanted to go to Earth for one simple reason. He believed that he wanted to be powerful again. True, he was very powerful, but he was below Frieza, and he was below Cooler. King Piccolo didn't like this. On Earth, he was a big fish. He can go back there, and besides, he could prepare to get revenge on Frieza. He wasn't giving up yet. The two space pods would land. Kakarot would land there first, a week before King Piccolo, and Kakarot would make himself known. He would try to take over the world. But then, soon after, King Piccolo would land. He would see statues of Kakarot. He would be angry. He would fly right towards him. Kakarot would look up and say, oh, Piccolo. Makes sense you'd be back here. Is that why you're here? No, you could have this pathetic planet. I don't really want it anyway. But what I do want is a good training partner. We need to get strong to beat Frieza. Why do you think we need to work together? Piccolo would say, why would I ever want to work with you? You dumb aliens ruined everything. Aren't you an alien too? Shut up. I didn't know that. To me, I was just a demon. That's all I needed to know. Everything I ever wanted, I was gonna have. I was gonna rule this world, but then Cooler changed it all. Cooler's the only reason you fused in the first place. Don't get it all twisted. We'll win. Don't worry. Besides, we need to train. Eventually, Frieza will find out where we are. Piccolo reluctantly agreed, as they both trained together intensely, pushing each other further and further. Meanwhile, we cut to Frieza. Frieza and his men will be looking everywhere for Kakarot and King Piccolo. However, suddenly they would hear rumors about a machine that would go to planets and absorb all of its energy, but it had to be just rumors. It couldn't be any more than that. At least that's what Frieza thought. However, one day, as he was sitting on his throne, Captain Ginyu would show up and say, Lord, we saw this weird spaceship heading to Earth. It's huge, like the size of a small moon. This shocked Frieza. Why would anything be that big? The only people who can build something like that would be the Galactic Patrol, but they're allies with them. And they wouldn't just build it. And why head to Earth, of all places? Earth is just not known for anything. Frieza was intrigued, so he decided to follow it, as the Frieza force would follow it. However, what they didn't know was it was the Big Getty Star. As Kakarot and Piccolo were training, suddenly the Big Getty Star would land on Earth, as metal coolers walked out. Kakarot and King Piccolo were shocked. "I thought you died." Cooler would laugh and say, "No. I've died. It should have been over for me. However, part of my skin and flesh got cut up by the big Getty star, and it recreated me, and I even got my memories back. The part of me that went into the star is long dead. However, I've been reborn as Metal Cooler." Kakarot would say, that's cool. "So, what do we do now, boss?" he said, trying to sense his power. His power was off the charts. He couldn't even do anything to him. Metal Cooler would say, "Boss, I'm not gonna lie, you guys were worthy servants. And if I wasn't turned into this, honestly, you probably would have been with me forever. Or at least until you betrayed me. However, now I have no need for you." As suddenly, tons of Metal Coolers showed up. King Piccolo would say, "What are you doing? You're betraying me after everything we've done together?" Cooler would laugh and say, "Don't worry. You'll give me plenty of energy." But right before they were about to fight, Frieza's spaceship landed as Frieza, Vegeta, and the Ginyu Force all came out. Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz, and the Ginyu Force with Frieza all came in. As the Metal Coolers charged, the Metal Coolers began to beat up all of them, except for Frieza, that tore through them one by one. Cooler was shocked and said, "How is this possible?" He would laugh and say, "I trained for 3 weeks straight. I learned the value of hard work. You taught me that." This shocked Cooler. He was so strong. However, Frieza was not strong enough to destroy them endlessly, and even if he could, he was still running low on stamina. Meanwhile, Vegeta watched as Nappa and Raditz got pulled away by the Metal Coolers, and Goku watched as his power became less and less and less. Kakarot got angry as Vegeta screamed, "Do not take away my squad!" and turned into a Super Saiyan. All Vegeta's anger, he could not let this stand. Vegeta is the prince of all Saiyans. No one will take his crewmates, no one will take away his friends, and no one will defeat him. This is his victory right here, right now. Kakarot saw this, and he began to get angry too. Vegeta cannot surpass him. He trained his whole life to surpass Vegeta. He gave up everything. He gave up his Saiyan heritage, his Saiyan pride. He gave up his friends just to become stronger. And it all wasn't worth it. All these emotions bubbled down in him as he turned into a Super Saiyan. Frieza, Goku, and Vegeta all began to battle Metal Coolers after Metal Coolers. Wave after wave after wave after wave came. And it seemed like it wasn't enough. They only had one idea left. As all 3 of them charged in with everything they got, charging towards the spaceship, but then arms grabbed them. The Metal Coolers began to drag them back, as eventually they all passed out. They would wake up and feel energy being stolen from them, as they realized it was over. But then Vegeta had an idea. "Guys, he's not taking all of our energy at once. He's only taking bits and pieces. That means he can't handle it all." Frieza would say, "Are you suggesting what I think?" Vegeta would nod. As King Piccolo would wake up, having his energy be stolen, he would say, "No one takes the energy from the great Demon King." Kakarot would say, "Hey, Demon King, I know a way to blow this bastard up. Give him all of your energy at once." "Are you crazy? Just do it. He can't handle it." They all nodded as they began to pump their energy into Cooler. Suddenly, a giant Metal Cooler would appear and try to stop them. But as it did, Frieza got out and blasted it with a death beam, but then it got back up. Frieza was panting, as Goku and Vegeta and King Piccolo all put their energy into Cooler, but then Captain Ginyu would show up and punch it down, and the Ginyu Force would distract the Metal Cooler. As the entire spaceship began to blow up, Cooler screamed, "No, no, no!" as all the Metal Coolers blew up and the spaceship was destroyed. They breathed heavily, barely alive. Frieza and the rest of them couldn't fight each other. They worked together to stop Metal Cooler, and well, they couldn't really do anything. They were both too tired, so they waited and rested up. After that, Vegeta and Kakarot both looked at each other, and Frieza looked at them too. Frieza would say, "You can go." Vegeta would say, "Why do you? We work together here, but next time we meet, if you do not turn your evil ways around, you'll..." Kakarot laughs and says, "Oh, you'll lock me up? I'm not scared of you." Goku would then leave with King Piccolo. As Earth was liberated under the Frieza Force, no longer ruled by Kakarot, even able to join, new technology, better lives, better standard of living now offered to them. However, Kakarot and Vegeta were both equal, and Kakarot had an idea to defeat Vegeta. Piccolo also had a plan, but there was something they didn't know. While Cooler was there and they were all fighting, Dr. Gero had drones collecting information to make androids and to make Cell. What will they do about it? How will this affect the future? Find out on the next episode. And that's where I leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the video. I know I enjoyed making it. Peace out.